Hello, beautiful people from the internet. It is Connie over here. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing great. Today it is a very gloomy, cold day here in Portugal, which is very, very much appreciated because it has been very hot. And so I just wanted to go back to the old times of this channel where I just lit up a cigarette and talked about whatever was going through my mind, because it was a very healthy way in which I coped with the things that were going on at the time. Not exactly the smoking the cigarette part, but turning on the camera and talking to someone was very, very helpful to me back then, and so I'm going to bring it back today. I'm going to light up one of my L&M forwards and I'm going to be thinking about all of the things that have been going through my mind. Let's go, let's light this up. Hey, it's quite windy today also. I might have to hotbox today, which I wasn't planning on. So I feel like I've been thinking a lot about the passage of time and my emotions through that passage of time, because for the first 20 years of my life, this is probably not a very healthy way to talk about myself, but I can acknowledge that I was a very negative, sad, mostly just down person. I was probably not very pleasant to be around. I was constantly portraying bad emotions because that's what I was feeling. And it has been scary to realize that for the past 2 years now, I've been changing into a happier person than not. And this has been very scary because I got so accustomed to feeling down and depressed that I truthfully didn't really want to get out of it, because I didn't know a life without these emotions, you know? I feel like the first time that I started trying to make a change for my life was before I turned 20, actually, was when I was around 16, and I just couldn't keep up with myself and always being so negative. I just could not find joy in anything, and life started to be really, really hard to live because of that, you know. When you cannot even find joy in things that most people would say are happy, like going for a walk, going to the beach, being with your friends, playing a video game, eating a food that you like, I just found no joy in anything, you know. And so I read a book when I was 16, which was the first step that I took to try and change the way I felt. It was called The Secret, and it was a book about the law of attraction, which is what introduced me to the law of attraction. This book, among many other things, taught me that my thoughts control my reality. And this is what I choose to believe. Of course, everyone can live according to their beliefs, and not everyone is going to believe this, and I'm totally okay with that. It's just the way that from then on I started living my life, you know. And so from the point where I was 16, I started paying way more attention to what I put out into the world, what kind of thoughts I was allowing myself to produce so much, and what kind of thoughts I wanted to have more of. And so I started trying to find mechanisms where if I would think so constantly and overwhelmingly about these things that were so bad and happening to me, and oh my God, everything is a disgrace and everything is gonna end and what is the point, I started immediately, when I thought about those things, I tried thinking about puppies, which is silly, but it helped me shift from those terrible things that I was always thinking to something that was lighthearted and happy and hopeful, you know. And that was the first thing that I ever did to try and change the way I felt. When I went to university, though, things got a lot darker. I could not find any coping mechanisms anymore, and I just fell back into the just everything is meaningless because it is going to end. What is the point of doing anything if I'm going to be forgotten, if I'm going to forget all of the memories that I have, if everyone that I've ever touched in life is going to forget about me and I'm going to forget about them? There's no point in doing anything at all because it's not going to be remembered. And so I started going by this, and it was not helpful at all, as you can imagine. And then last year, I think, I found out about Stoicism, which I think is like kind of the mother of the law of attraction, because Stoicism not only goes by the belief that your thoughts control your reality, but many other things. And I started really delving into it and researching about it, and it has helped me tremendously. And I can talk more about it on this channel if you'd like me to, because it is something that I'm very interested in. And it is something that I, go by every day. I think about it this way, I have a little garden in my brain in which I plant seeds. And so I planted the seeds of sadness and depression, and I let those seeds grow for a while, and all they gave me were nothing. They wouldn't grow anything. Nothing would grow out of it, And then I planted the seeds of the law of attraction, and suddenly I had little sprouts of flowers, and I could see that something was finally growing, and maybe there was a chance for me to actually be happy and feel joy in my life. But then, once I planted the seeds of Stoicism, that's when I saw little sunflowers grow in my brain, and suddenly I didn't have just a plot of land with nothing on it. I had some flowers that I could collect and show myself, look, you have grown this yourself and now you can enjoy it. And maybe it's an analogy that doesn't make much sense, but to me, it just has changed the way I see things, A lot of people plant seeds of other things and they grow beautiful flowers with their beliefs. Some people plant the seeds of religion, and some people don't even think about planting any seeds of anything, and they just go about their life kind of not really believing anything, and that's totally fine as well. But for me, I feel like I'm a person that needs to have kind of a set of rules that I go by, because I'm a very routine-based and rule-based person. And when I have some things that I go by, it's easier for me to go through life, And so the parts of Stoicism that helped me so tremendously were mainly, the self-discipline, self-reflection, and mindfulness and acceptance of things, knowing that things are going to happen whether you want them to happen or not. And you can choose to do one of three things. You can worry about them endlessly, which is what I did for the first 20 years of my life. You can take steps to make them better, and if there's no way to make something better because it happened to you and there's no solution to it, then you can just accept it and move on and work on the things that you can control, And this has been life-changing, although it can be very simple. It was probably something that I could have thought of before I realized what Stoicism was, but I just could never really get to the point in my mind where I made the switch that if something just has no solution to it, all I can do is accept it and try to fix the things that have solution and go about life feeling peaceful, knowing that I've done the best I could to change what it is that's happening, I don't know, Stoicism has been a very, very big part of my life in a bunch of different ways. I've learned how to cope with uncomfortable situations, and I've learned to appreciate them for what they are. Uncomfortable situations, I believe they exist and they happen not to you, but they happen to make you learn something and to make you grow in some way. They don't happen to you, they happen for you, is what I think the most. And also when I was younger, I was so stuck in this mentality that people did bad things to me, and therefore the only way I could fix them was by that person fixing it. It's almost like I believe that someone had a magic wand and they pointed it at me and they did something bad to me and they kept the wand, so the only way it could fix it was if they pointed the wand at me again and they fixed it for me. And eventually I realized that people are going to do bad things. People are going to do things that you are not going to like, because people make mistakes. Sometimes people don't have your best interest in mind, but that is completely out of your control. What other people do is completely out of your control. No matter how much you believe you can control something or some situation or someone, you can control only the way you react to those things, And so now, whenever something bad happens to me that was a product of someone else's actions, I take accountability to fix it, I'm not waiting for them to come with their magic wand and fix it for me, since they were the one that broke it. I now take accountability and tell myself, I can either live with this sorrow and sadness from what happened to me, or I can take steps to try and fix it, Sometimes it is as simple as, instead of staying home all day, I'm just going to go for a walk, listen to some music that I enjoy, and take some steps to make myself feel better. I cannot rely on someone else to fix the problem that they have created, because that is out of my control. I cannot make someone else come into my life and fix whatever they made, or make them apologize for something, because they won't, unless they want to, you know? I don't know, even smaller situations that you feel like are annoying and they're happening to you, like you are being stuck in traffic, or I don't know, your plate of food fell on the ground just after you finished cooking it, which has happened to me before, and of course it's unfortunate, and you can either leave the food on the ground and sit on the ground and cry about it, or you can clean it, make another plate of food that maybe is even going to be better than the first one. If you're stuck in traffic and it is oh so annoying, you can put up some music on the radio or a speaker in your car and just dance along, you know? There's not much you can do. You are going to be stuck there nonetheless. You can either be sad and angry about it, or you can try to make things happen that are going to be bringing you joy and happiness, you know? I feel like you can do this with absolutely everything in life, and it is very, very, very hard to do. Don't let me make you believe that it is something that I did with a switch, or what is this, like I don't know what this is in English, but it is not easy. It is something that I've been doing for the past 2 years, and it has taken so long. And even when bad things happen to me, my first reaction is to be sad about them and to be angry about them. But now I take less time to pass onwards to the point where I'm like, okay, this happened, I accept it, what am I going to do to make it better, you know? I used to take a long time to do that, even weeks and months and years, and now maybe I take a day or a couple hours. After realizing that something that wasn't according to my plan happened, I'm just like, okay, is there a solution? Can I fix this in any way? If I can, I'm going to start taking the steps to fix it. If I cannot, well, then it's not my problem to worry about. If I cannot fix something, if there is no solution to it, why would I be worrying about it, you know? There's nothing that I might possibly do that will fix this, and so let me put my energy on something that I can actually fix. So I don't know, this is basically what I've been thinking for the past days now, because I've been worrying a lot about the future and about how things are going to go and what is going to happen next year. Am I going to have a good life? Am I going to be successful and whatnot? And then I just stop myself and I'm like, the fact that I even woke up today is so astonishingly rare, and I'm so grateful for it, that let me just appreciate these trees that I see in front of me. Let me just appreciate the fact that my car even turned on to get me here to this park where I love being at, you know? There's so many little things that you could be appreciating that sometimes are overshadowed by the big things that are seen as bad. I don't know, I always think of it this way, and this was said by some philosopher of Stoicism. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Marcus Aurelius. I'm not exactly sure. But I like to think of it this way. You should take every day as if it is a bonus, as if yesterday was your last and today is just a bonus. You know, you got to wake up again today, defying all of the odds that yesterday was supposed to be your last day, and you still woke up today. You have another chance to go and do things that make you happy and to go and better yourself and improve yourself, you know. So I take basically every day as if it was a bonus, as if I was supposed to die yesterday and I didn't by some miracle, and I'm here again to do all of the things that I want to do in my life, you know? So instead of worrying about all of the things that worry me and that could bring me back to a place of sadness and depression, I instead choose to take every day as a blessing, you know. Of course it is. Sometimes it is very, very hard to do that, but there's small things that you can do, like going for a walk, journaling about things you are grateful for, and eventually your brain is going to start rewiring and coming out of this sad and deep depression hole, and is going to start appreciating all of the small things that maybe you've never even looked at before because you were so consumed by the sadness, you know, which I understand because I've been there. These are the things that I've been thinking about these days. I'm gonna open my door a little bit because it's getting quite steamy in here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know what you thought of this. Maybe you don't really care about what I think and believe in, but it was something that I wanted to talk about because it is easier for me to put things into words. Most of the times I journal, but I find it easier to speak what I'm thinking, and then eventually if I want to journal about it, I rewatch the video and I write my thoughts on what I said. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll definitely be back very soon with more videos for you guys. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Bye!